Welcome to the InDesign Basic Training video series. I'm Professor Tennant, and in this video we'll be exploring the interface of InDesign using the Creative Cloud version. However, throughout the series, if there's a significant difference between an older version, such as CS6, I'll point that out. After launching InDesign, you'll get to this screen here, which is your Start screen. This is the Creative Cloud version, and you'll be able to get started with a number of preset sizes of documents and document types. You'll also be able to open the most recent documents. If you switch right here, these are recent, and this would be presets. You can also build some libraries here. Since this application has just been installed, I don't have any recent documents that I've opened. So I do have the CS6 version right here. So those of you using an earlier version, you'll see this welcome screen here as opposed to the start screen. And they both serve the same purpose, the start screen and the welcome screen. You can open a recent item. You can go to some learning features such as getting started, and you can create new documents. So the difference here is we don't have specific ones listed in the Create New as we do in the Creative Cloud version. However, you would be able to create a document right from the welcome screen. The interface and menus are very much the same as the earlier and the Creative Cloud versions. So let's take a look at the parts of the interface real quick here. Now I have an image that's an overview of the interface with coincides with our book that we're using, Exploring Adobe InDesign, which I'm using the CS6 version by Cengage, which is currently our text. But if you don't have that, just take a look at this picture right here. And like I said, they're very much similar to each other. Now at the top, you'll have your menu bar, okay? And whether it's a Macintosh that you're using or a PC you're using, then you'll have drop-down menus here. So that's your menu bar, okay? Then you'll have another menu here, which this helps you with your workspace right in here. So your InDesign, you'll be able to go to Adobe Bridge. You'll also be able to manage sizes and rulers and some simple layout functionality very quickly. Okay. Moving along, then you'll be able to also go to a workspace here. So this switches your workspace depending on what it is that you're trying to accomplish. A print design, if you are working with just basics, or if you're working with typography, you can switch, and that switches up what's at the right-hand side here, your panels. Okay, then next we have a control panel. I know I said in Photoshop that there was an options panel. In InDesign, this menu right here is called the control panel at the top. And it switches the functionality depending on what tool at the left-hand side that you are using. So on the left-hand side, of course, is our toolbox. Then when you bring up a new document or a document you're working on, there is a tabbed document window. Also, what I said, this was an application bar with the workspace switcher and whatnot. And then the panels off to the right, we can add more panels as needed depending on what your needs actually are and what you're trying to accomplish. The document itself inside here, you have a document that you open and you'll see it looks like a piece of paper and the outside area is the pasteboard area. We can put things on the pasteboard just like you would in Illustrator, and when they are put onto the pasteboard, they are non-printable. That's a non-printable area. Also, in a document, you'll see that you'll have margin guides. There's some guides that are in like a purple and magenta colors. You'll also have guides if you make more than one column, and you'll see the document edge as well. Okay, let's take a look back at our actual interfaces. Okay, and I wanted to, one of the first things that people would like to address when they get into especially the Creative Cloud version, you'll notice that it's much darker than the earlier versions of InDesign. And when you get on the job, it depends on your workplace if they have an update to Adobe products or not. And I want you to keep in mind that there's a lot of versatility, and you need to explore for yourself what's in InDesign. And I encourage you guys to go to the drop-down menus at the top and see what's in here. Now, to change your interface, you can change the darkness from dark to light in the Creative Cloud version. In the earlier versions, it's a very light interface, okay, like this, okay. So I'm going to switch back to the Creative Cloud version. You can go to the drop-down menu, and if you're on a Macintosh, you would go to the InDesign Creative Cloud or InDesign drop-down menu, and you'll see Preferences. On a PC, you're going to go to Edit, and all the way at the bottom, of course I don't have it here because I'm on a Macintosh, but at the bottom on a PC will be your Preferences. Okay, so I'm going to go open up Preferences and go to Interface. All right, and there's a number of tabs here that you'll be able to take a look at, and the second one in is the Interface, and here we can change the lightness to dark, from light to dark and back again, your color theme, so your appearance. Mostly in a production setting, it's a little bit easier on the eyes to have the darker setting, but if you want the lighter version of it, you can switch to medium light, light, dark. You can also do custom as well, going all the way to dark. Okay, so I'm actually going to go to medium dark because most of you will be starting out that way, and I can go ahead and click OK. Now the second thing that I'd like to point out to you with setting preferences, and this is a little bit important because if you open up a document and you're expecting to see increments in terms of inches, you might not be starting that way. So I like to go to the Preferences and set the units of measure, and that is one of the tagged items in the menu in your Preferences. And your ruler units and other units, your point sizes and whatnot are going to be in here. So for rulers, I do like to take the origin and make it so that it's the default spread. You can explore that. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But in terms of inches or points or pixels and things like that, you want to choose inches primarily in the US. If you are using doing something for print, then you're going to do in terms of inches. But it may have started off in points or pixels. You might want to change that to inches. And each ruler is separate from the other. Okay, so now I've got my preferences set for those two things. I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And in the next video, we are going to open up and create a new document, and we'll take a look at the Tools panel.